Week 15.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. There is a lot to talk about. Should we recap it, Badaki?
Man, we need to break everything down for Week 15.
All right, you said it. Let's do it. Let's get straight to the recap.
Welcome to the FantasyLand Football Podcast.
Okay. Hello.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. Now, obviously, Badaki, Week 15 is over except for one game.
Except for one game.
We're recording this podcast a little bit late, so whenever you're listening to it, it's probably Monday, the 21st of December. Maybe you're catching it on Tuesday. I'm not sure when you're listening. But this is
It's
Zach.
the holidays.
That is Badaki. Yeah, it's the holidays. We're with family, working around some schedules. So thanks for tuning into the Fantasyland Football Podcast regardless.
That's right.
Glad to have you here. We've got a great show ahead, right, Badaki?
Yeah. Pumped. Pumped.
I'm sure you are. Look, Badaki made it to the finals in our league, one of the leagues that we're in, which it's the league that we cover on the podcast here, the Fellowship of the Fantasy Ring.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for myself, I fell just short. And that was due to a last-minute change from my opponent, Joseph Dickow. He put in Jalen Hurts last second over Jared Goff. Pretty confident that I would have made it to the finals, but does it hurt? Yes. Yes, it hurts.
It does.
I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like it doesn't hurt. Some people say it's just fantasy football, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but it means a lot to me and to anyone out there who has been knocked out of the playoffs. I just want to now officially say I feel you for real. I know the pain. You've been putting together this monster team. Are you kidding me? My gosh, your team is beautiful. It's amazing. You should look at it and be proud of yourself regardless. Unfortunately, there's only one winner, and that winner is not you this year. But you still deserve a round of applause. Go ahead and do it for yourself. Give yourself a round of applause. You deserve it. I feel you. It hurts. It really does hurt. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. Look, there's a lot of people out there probably hurting right now because they lost. But like you said, on to the next year. Keep your head up. I mean,
right.
So much more football to be played in the years to come. Wow.
That's right. You can't win them all. So let's look at next year and let's lock up that third place. Okay. All right. Let's talk about some news. Need to know news.
What is going on here?
All right. What is the need to know news? What is going on in the National Football League? Here's what you need to know. Clyde Edwards-Helaire left the game last night. It was a scary situation there in New Orleans. It looks like he's definitely out for the regular season, but there's a chance he plays in the playoffs, the real NFL playoffs, which is better news than most people probably expected after seeing him walk or being helped into the locker room.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad. It's a ankle and hip injury. Still, he got MRIs. All they know is that he's out for the rest of the season, which is 2 more weeks. Hopefully he can, like you said, come back in the playoffs. And if and when and how long they make it to the playoffs, then yeah.
Yep, Todd Gurley is no longer the lead running back in Atlanta. It's been announced that Ito Smith is now the lead running back. So you probably weren't playing Todd Gurley anyway. Now you're definitely not. He's an unplayable asset, I think, from this point forward. James Conner, we got a surprise notification. He's not playing in Monday Night Football. Unlucky if you were relying on him to get to the next round. And let's talk about the last thing, which is Stephon Diggs. Quote from head coach Sean McDermott says, it's not too worrisome, but he said, we'll find out Wednesday. They don't know for sure. Do you expect Diggs to play this week?
I do. He has an extra day. He is playing on Monday night, so I think that will help him, and I think he will play. If they rest him the whole week, he will play, I believe.
All right, guys, the easiest way to keep up with all things fantasy football is to follow us on our social media accounts. Instagram is at FantasyLand Football. Twitter is at FantasyLand_FB. You can watch the show on YouTube. Just search Fantasyland Football, where you can see our beautiful faces as we break it all down for you. Or you can listen on any podcast platform in the world. And you can now follow us on TikTok at Fantasyland Football. We're going to break down the entire week for you right now, okay? So let's hang in tight. Every week we give you straight cash and just trash.
That's right.
Cash meaning these were the players that popped off, that probably propelled you into the finals. And the just trash is the players that probably hurt your chances of making it anywhere this week. So let's break it down. Let's start with some cash.
If you don't write checks, how do you pay these guys?
Straight cash, homie.
Okay. Now, this hurts. This really hurts.
I can take it.
I have to relive it. So, yeah, you go ahead.
Obviously, we like to start with quarterbacks for the straight cash section. And look, the number one guy this week, the guy that Zach faced in the playoffs, he has done something absolutely amazing. We did not expect him to be going off this way, and his name is Jalen Hurts. Rookie quarterback, obviously, 388 yards, 3 total touchdowns, 37 fantasy points.
Actually.
4 total
because
touchdowns.
he had one on the ground.
37 fantasy points.
You know how I know that? Because every touchdown hurt a little bit more for me. Every touchdown just, ouch. It just, my heart has officially been shattered. Thank you, Jalen Hurts, for nothing. But if you started him, then you got to be feeling happy. And probably a guy you can start for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, very interesting. I think, obviously, we will talk about that on tomorrow or 2 days from now.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting starting him. I know he plays the Cowboys, so it's a must start. But look, the Cowboys played pretty great last week or on Sunday. So,
yep, they did.
I mean,
with all respect, they did play pretty well.
Yeah. It's interesting. Josh Allen, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns on Saturday.
Yep.
37 fantasy points. I mean, it was a must start for him. I mean, he's going crazy right now.
Yeah, Josh Allen, from his draft position, average draft position, probably was the best quarterback considering draft position this year.
Absolutely.
Right? Is there anyone I'm missing that it's like, dude, what about? Probably not, right? It's probably Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Josh Allen. That's all. Kyler Murray.
Regardless,
Kyler Murray.
Nah, because he was drafted earlier than Josh Allen for sure. Both of these quarterbacks.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to talk about everyone, guys, but we just want to highlight some players for you. Let's look at the running back position. Tony Pollard.
Wow.
12 carries for 70 yards, just under 69, 2 touchdowns. 6 receptions for 63 yards is big. Finishing with over 30 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Safe to say he went off.
Oh my God, he on X Games mode.
He played like he is better than Zeke.
Well, I was going to say there's already been rumors that they're going to look to trade him. I think it probably starts to intensify. And I'm not so convinced that Zeke couldn't have played either.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's more of a let's see what we've got. And I genuinely think Zeke's probably... There's a 50% chance Zeke is on a different team next year.
Where is he going?
That's the thing. How do you trade that contract? So it's going to be complicated.
I don't see him going anywhere big. When I say big, I don't see him going to like a Super Bowl contender league, you know? I don't see him going to a...
No.
I see him going to Patriots need a running back. Dolphins. Well, they got Miles now, so they're kind of going to lean on him.
I have no idea where he could land. I haven't even thought about it. It feels wrong for Zeke to be anywhere else.
It does.
But if they can get... I promise you, it's not an issue of if the Cowboys want to do it. Because I promise you, they want to get off that contract.
Yeah.
There is so much money wrapped up in
maybe
Zeke.
the Bucks? Imagine?
No, they wouldn't do that. They're just going to keep finding running backs who are just over their prime and using them.
Okay. I mean, There's no one in the league that's just over their prime that is a lead running back right now.
Fournette, I feel like they could sign him on a cheap contract. Anyway, I don't know. There's definitely going to be options for them out there.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, obviously respect to Tony Pollard. Great game. David Montgomery is uber consistent the last 5 games.
Yeah.
He puts up another 25-plus point performance, actually 29 points this time around. We told you to trade for him, and my gosh, that might have been the best call all year when we told you to trade for him because he was just coming off that injury. Badaki, I believe it was you. It was your trade target.
Yeah, he was my trade target.
Wow, it's panned off if you did it.
Yeah. I'm jealous that I didn't get Monty in time. I am kind of feel some type of way because imagine having Monty as your flex right now or anyone. Like imagine my team. Obviously, you can see my team on our social media, but imagine me having all those guys and Monty as my flex. It's actually tremendous. He's been balling out. There's something really good. If you got Monty, he's been doing his thing. Amazing schedule for the rest of the season. You have to start him next week.
I love it.
Dalvin Cook, obviously he always does his thing. 24 carries, 132 yards, and a touchdown. He was 5 for 27 in the air, 26.9 fantasy points. This was significantly better than the last time he played the Bears because that was really just really interesting. You know?
Yeah, and unfortunately, game script held him out of more points, to be honest. He could have had more points, but game script
he could have.
Did its thing.
It's definitely worrying some for next week. Obviously, if you have Dalvin Cook, he's playing the New Orleans Saints. I think they're the number one defense against the run. They are extremely talented. Obviously,
but let's not forget
you still had to start Dalvin.
You have to start him, and I was just going to say, Miles Sanders just went off not this week, but last week against the Saints. So it's very possible. Dalvin Cook is a better running back than Miles Sanders.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's finish off this running back list quickly. J.D. McKissick. Big shout out to J.D. McKissick. I love you, but you destroyed me this week, along with the next guy on this list, which is Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So much pain reading off all the people that sent me home from the playoffs. But much respect to these guys. They were great. J.D. McKissick, if Gibson's back, that ceiling is definitely lower. And there's a chance Gibson is back this week. But obviously, Derrick Henry has been lights out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of these guys have been great, really.
Straight cash, homie.
Let's talk about the wide receiver position, Badaki. Take us through it.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley, your boy, he did absolutely amazing. 10 receptions, 14 targets, 163 yards, 1 touchdown. 32 fantasy points. If you have Calvin Ridley, this is a significant play for you. If you played him, obviously Julio is out. This game they were up early.
It's just classic Atlanta Falcons. I mean, just replay anytime we've ever talked about the Atlanta Falcons, and it's just put it on repeat. It's just they can't close games.
Let me ask you this: Is it the defense that can't close games, or is it the offense that can't close games?
It's the entire team, and it actually is a mindset. It's a culture that needs to change. Genuinely, it's a culture that needs to change. I mean, we said the same thing about the Chargers. How many close games do you lose? There's a reason. Right. It starts from the top down. There needs to be changes. And, as much as I'm going to favorite the Washington football team, still, look at the culture that's changed. Culture is a big part of a football team, and I think there needs to be a change in LA for the Chargers. In Atlanta, there needs to be a change. It needs to be a complete reboot of what the culture looks like.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting.
They've got talent. They've got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Time to utilize it properly.
DeAndre Hopkins, also amazing game. Mind you, these are 2 guys that Zach had on his team, and he still lost. Okay?
Yep.
I mean,
it hurts.
Calvin with 32 and DeAndre with 30. DeAndre was 9 for 11 targets, 169 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, what a catch for that touchdown. That was crazy.
Wow.
He mossed that guy. There needs to be like a word for DeAndre Hopkins. You know how Randy Moss used to moss people? DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
He does something to them.
Oh my gosh. That was beautiful. The strength of his hands. Wow. It's just something to be in awe about, honestly. Marvin Jones is on the list again. Classic boomer bust Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
This week he boomed 27 fantasy points. And Stephon Diggs went off on Saturday.
Yeah.
11 receptions on 13 targets, 147 yards, over 25 fantasy points. Badaki, he was on your team. You were loving watching that game. You were facing Josh Allen, but you had Diggs. So it was almost like the perfect combat.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying because Josh Allen, he favorites Diggs the whole time, but when he gets to the end zone, he doesn't. And
No,
I'm not
he just does his own thing. Really.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like, I wish I didn't have Diggs. I love to have Diggs. I wish Josh Allen threw to him in the end zone as well.
To be honest, though, it's working. So for
is.
the Bills as a team, it's working. So I don't think they need to change anything. All due respect to your fantasy team, but no, I get it. I mean, last night I was watching Nick Chubb, and literally 10 minutes left in the game, they just didn't play him again.
No.
And I'm like, I get it. I get it for your team, but you're really letting me down. I could have had a chance to win this game if you would have let Nick Chubb run. And then Kareem Hunt went to the sideline, and I was like, here comes Nick Chubb. Nope. Here comes the third string.
Oh, no.
It's funny how we think in fantasy as if anyone in the organization really cares.
Yeah.
But
it's getting to the
yeah.
point where people are going to start to get benched, and that's a real fear for next week if a team's up significantly. For example, the Chiefs, and they're up significantly. Yeah. Patty can be sat by the third quarter, and I really hope that's not the case.
For sure. All right, let's look at the tight ends here to finish off this cash list. Darren Waller, the absolute baller. What's up with Madden? We got Madden recently. Madden doesn't even have Darren Waller as an X factor.
No.
He's not even a superstar. He's just a regular player in Madden. Are they completely unaware of who Darren Waller is? The dude put up 30 points this week, and he's a stud. Come on, Madden. Figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they don't have him as something as Madden. Maybe the Madden people, we need to hashtag Madden on here. You know, whoever has Madden or whatever, comment below. Let us know who's your team you like to use. But yeah, Waller did his thing. He did well. But this is a surprise, and actually not a surprise to me, but I think a lot of surprise for a lot of people. Logan Thomas, 13 for 101, 15 targets.
Yep.
Okay, let's be honest.
Amazing game. That's something to marvel at for Logan Thomas, who is 29 years old, I believe, and out of nowhere he starts to have literally career days. Like, you got to respect that.
Oh my God! Wow!
It's something to behold. Shout out to the Washington football team. That was fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, look, he had 23 fantasy points. Logan Thomas has been a threat, I think, for the last 4 or 5 games. He's hasn't had under.
He's actually been great. Yeah.
He hasn't. You're right. He has been great, and I've said it. I said I like Logan Thomas. Ever since he had one big game, I was like, Logan Thomas could be something. Even though he was something, he was a freaking quarterback. Now he's a tight end. But look, in the last 4 games or 5 games, he hasn't had less than 10 points. We always preach consistency. I'm pretty sure Logan Thomas is available in your league. Pick him up, and if you're still in the playoffs,
He shouldn't be.
He could be a nice little sleeper if you want to take that chance. Yeah. But look, last but not least, obviously, he's always on the list. Travis Kelce, 8 for 12, 68 yards and a touchdown, 22 fantasy points. He did his thing. It's obvious. I mean, once again, we don't want to discredit him or anything, but I mean, Travis Kelce is always going to be on this list. We probably next year are just going to have a Travis Kelce document, and it's just going to have Travis Kelce on it in the tight end position, just so we don't have to keep changing
every game.
It.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, by the way, Travis Kelce went off.
Yeah. Okay.
No
yeah.
surprise,
but you knew that already.
Yeah, you knew that already.
Yeah.
All right. Some honorable mentions to quickly finish off the cash list, Badaki. It's Zach Pascal.
Yeah.
Which is a surprise. Just under 25 fantasy points. He got 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy we've been talking about for a while is Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah. Did his thing. He's doing amazing.
Yeah.
22 fantasy points. Look, we like him. He is going to be the future for this team. Noah Fant, 20 fantasy points. And then obviously also Mark Ingram, 17.6 fantasy points. I mean,
You said Mark Ingram, but
Mark Andrews.
Ingram definitely didn't have 17 points. Mark Andrews.
Ingram probably wasn't even in the game. He actually didn't play, but
Yeah. Shout out to these guys. All right, that was our cash list for week 14. Breaking it down for you. I know it's hard, but we got to talk about the just trash this week.
Yep.
And some of it hurts me, guys. I feel your pain. This week, I am literally the definition of the Will Smith pain meme. It's just, it hurts. But let's talk about the trash.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
He needs some milk.
All right. The first one is someone I really relied on. And I actually didn't want to say this because it hurts. But I genuinely, Badaki, before the game started, I saw Ryan Tannehill on the waivers in our league.
mm-hmm.
And I literally said to myself, I should really pick him up and start him.
Right.
I should really do that. And I said, no, I'm going to trust the guy who got me there, Russell Wilson. And unfortunately, if I had made that move, if I went with my gut, I would be in the final. But shout out to Russell Wilson on the trash list this week. He didn't have a terrible game as a quarterback, but from a fantasy perspective, 12 points is not what you were expecting at all. It hurt you for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and that goes for all the quarterbacks. You know, obviously Russell Wilson is the only guy on this list. A lot of the quarterbacks passed that 10-point threshold this week. So we had to find the most significant hurt for you guys, and it was Russ. You know, obviously the Washington football team is good, but it's just not anything like no one else was on there.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of quarterbacks did pretty decently. So, all right, let's talk about the running back position. Now, obviously, Todd Gurley is on this list.
Yeah.
And my goodness, how he's fallen from grace. Todd Gurley this week, 1 carry, 2 receptions. Now, this is very clear from what the head coach has said, that Todd Gurley's no longer the starting running back there. It's Ito Smith. And unfortunately, if you started Todd Gurley without knowing that yet, then you may have kicked yourself out of the playoffs. But let's talk about the next guy on this list, which is Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake, 10 carries for 26 yards, 2 receptions and 14 yards. This is the kind of game that I said, I know Drake's been great, but this could happen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it happened in a crucial game.
In
for
a crucial one. Yeah, it's pretty significant. But look, Kenyon Drake is, I think it was just the game plan. You know, they threw the ball a lot. Let's be honest. But who knows? Who knows? I think that he will have a bounce back game. I actually don't know who he plays next week. Do you know who he plays next week?
No, I don't. But the Cardinals need to keep winning, so they're going to have to keep utilizing the guys that have gotten them there so far. So he'll definitely be involved. It's just, man, it's hard to. They're playing San Francisco. San Francisco just gave up the biggest running back game.
Exactly. I was about to say that. So
yeah, to Pollard.
Look,
so
Kenyon Drake,
anything's possible.
Still could be that guy. Cam Akers, 15 for 63, 1 reception, 7.2 fantasy points. He's doing it. He didn't really have the best game. Obviously, he was in and out with the injury. He is going back and forth. Oh, sorry, I just hear noise in that background. Obviously, holidays with family, so people are around. So if you hear some talking in the background, ignore it.
Hey, we're all around family, so you know if you hear anything in the background, I've got literally 8 cousins in the house with me, so you might hear something on my end, you might hear something on Badaki's end, but we want to make sure and keep bringing the pod to you.
Yeah.
So, if you hear anything, just know we're with family. It's the holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Cam Akers, not a great game. A lot of people are really relying on him to pop off against the Jets. And what the heck? We haven't even talked about the Jets losing just barely. Or sorry, the Rams losing to the Jets.
I think
the Jets may have just given up Trevor Lawrence.
You know what
That's what's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's insane. Okay, number one. Number two, I personally believe this is going into a game thinking that you're going to win. The Rams went into this game and was like, it's all good. It's whatever.
They played to their level.
Mm-hmm. It was terrible.
They played to the Jets' level. They didn't play their own game. They were like, we're playing the Jets. We're good.
I bet you that's what Sean McVay is doing. He is hitting himself.
Yeah.
Right now, he's pissed.
But I want to talk about the Jets side of this quickly because it's hilarious to me. It's genuinely hilarious to think about the GM and the owner of the Jets. Hey, Adam Gase. Like I told you beforehand, mid-season, we were like, they're going to fire Adam Gase. And then I said, I don't think so because he's doing exactly what they want him to do at this point of the season. There's no chance they make the playoffs. What they need is to lose every single game so they can get Trevor Lawrence, which is, by the way, the best quarterback prospect we've heard about since Peyton Manning. And literally the whole thought process was, you know what? This is from the owner of the Jets, right?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people who are Jets fans who listen to the podcast. So let me know if you're upset. But if I'm the owner of the Jets, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way in hell Adam Gase can win a game. So it's perfect. Let's just leave him there. Go 0-16 or whatever it might be and grab a franchise-changing player and Trevor Lawrence. And this is Adam Gase's last gift to the Jets fans, officially probably losing Trevor Lawrence. Hey, guys, I won a game.
Yeah.
Why? All the Jets fans say, why? Why now? This is actually, like, I know I might be overreacting, but if I'm a Jets fan, this is actually the worst news of the year for me that we won this game.
Wow.
Genuinely.
I mean,
because you just lost Trevor Lawrence.
Maybe it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to believe that they will say, you know what, just tank it for us. And they either are going to try to get that first spot, and if they don't, they're going to trade. They're going to make every move possible to trade. You know, like no matter trade up.
That doesn't, dude. They like, what are the Jaguars going to say? Sure. Here, take Trevor Lawrence, the best quarterback prospect since Peyton Manning. Go ahead. I promise you the Jaguars are not trading out of that for any amount of picks.
I think you have to think about like their head office. Maybe they don't think Trevor Lawrence is the guy for their organization.
Everyone thinks he's the guy. He could not be, but this is a no-brainer. You have to, like, even if you don't think it, you have to.
Is he a mobile quarterback?
Look at the tape.
He's not a mobile quarterback, is he?
He can move, for sure. He can move. Have you watched his tape? We should watch some of his tapes together. This dude is crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm just thinking, what if they like somebody fast, that can do the RPO, Justin Fields? Like, that's probably the thought process.
Let me put it this way. I would bet $1,000 right now that whoever has a first-round pick is 1,000% taking Trevor Lawrence, and it's not a question in their mind. Whether Trevor Lawrence wants to be there, that's the question.
Yeah,
anyway,
pull Eli.
We've seen quarterbacks do that in the past.
Yeah,
Eli Manning.
That's right. Say no more.
I'm not gonna go to the Chargers. Got drafted by the Chargers. Got his way. Little punk.
He didn't want to go to that city. He went to the best city in America, New York.
It worked out for him for sure. But anyway, if you're a Jets fan, let us know. Is this frustrating to you? I feel like it's got to be frustrating as a Jets fan. I would be devastated. I feel your pain. If you're a Jags fan, now's the time to rejoice. You like genuinely the Jets just clutched this up for you for real.
Yeah.
Bang! Bang! It's good! Wins the game at the buzzer!
All right, let's get back on track. To finish the running back list, Mike Davis. Now, the volume was there, guys. The volume was there. He got 16 touches. Against the Packers, he should have been able to do something, but Badaki just finishes with 8 points.
Yeah.
Not a great game for Mike, was it?
No, very disappointing. I mean, coming off the game that he had last week, you expected him to get somewhere close, at least past that 10-point threshold. He just didn't do it for you this week. Is really disappointing.
Yeah. All right. Walk us through the trash wide receivers on the week, Badaki.
Yeah, look, a lot of wide receivers didn't do good this week. So obviously we couldn't put all of them on the list. But just to let you know, let me just name out people. All these guys had under 10 points. How about that?
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of people, so let's just name one off.
There's a lot of key people. Keenan Allen did terrible, 2.6. Amari Cooper, 2.3. Robbie Anderson, 9.8. Tyler Lockett, 7.4. Adam Thielen, 9.1. DK Metcalf, 9.3. And then Cooper Kupp, 8.9. All these guys, no matter what the stat is, no matter how many targets they got, no matter if their only catch was a touchdown, these guys did not perform for you. These guys really let you down this week because these are foundation wide receivers for your team.
But more than anything, I want better execution. Are we clear on that? I want better execution.
Yeah, and the reality is one of these guys could have been the reason you lost your matchup. I mean, DK Metcalf, are you kidding me? Under 10 points, no one would have thought that. Same with Adam Thielen. I think Cooper Kupp isn't super surprising, neither is Tyler Lockett. But Keenan Allen, I want to talk about him quickly because a lot of people would have started him because he told them, don't sit me. He looked at the camera before the game and he said, don't sit me. And then the dude barely played the entire game. That's where it's frustrating to me because I know these players know about fantasy football.
Right.
If you are upset that people are involved in fantasy football and talking about it with you, don't encourage people about fantasy football. And then, like it's different if Keenan Allen didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But for him to say, don't sit me, I think people have a slight reason to be a little bit upset.
Right. Do you think that, I believe he said that because, he said it before the game. I was going to say he said that after they scored, he looked into the camera. I was like, do you think that because they were up and it was very significant that they were going to win this game?
That's why I'm saying I just feel like he put himself in that position.
Right.
For people to be upset. Like, just don't say anything, Like, just don't say anything. It's okay. Unfortunately, let's quickly, I want to categorize a couple people. Amari Cooper, Robbie Anderson, Tyler Lockett, and Cooper Kupp. These are a group of wide receivers who, unfortunately, will not be consistent wide receivers in fantasy football
anymore.
So, yeah, they're just not going to be consistent. Yeah.
So
no, I mean as of right now, and you can't expect it as of right now.
Okay, I thought
whether that happens in the future, I can't predict that.
Okay, I thought you were just talking about
as of right
year.
now, as of right now, going forward, if you have a championship, if you have whatever consolation game, third place game, these are guys that unfortunately you are gonna get boom or bust for some of them.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, once again, all these guys let down. Adam Thielen had a great game last time against the Bears. DK Metcalf, wow. I mean, we weren't expecting that. Robbie Anderson, target monster. He was targeted 11 times, to be fair. Only catch the ball 5 times. So they really disrupted him, whatever the case may be. But yeah, it didn't work out for the wide receivers this week.
He needs some milk.
All right, let's talk about the tight ends to finish off this just trash list. Let's get rid of these bad vibes. Let's quickly go through it. TJ Hawkinson, 2 receptions for 18 yards. Did he finish with 1.8? He should have finished with 2.8 then, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, it's not a great game from him. Definitely could have let you down.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
The Lions scored multiple times. And not one of them went to TJ.
Swift was that guy this week, unfortunately, for any TJ Hawkinson owners.
Yeah.
Swift had a great game. Respect to Swift. The last guy on this list is Robert Gronkowski.
Robert. Yeah. What a letdown.
I say Robert because it's, when like your parents are upset at you and they say your full name from upstairs or you're downstairs. I remember my mom would say Zachary Daniel Savage, and if she said that, I was like, oh, shoot. Your boy's in trouble now.
Yeah, look.
I don't know.
He didn't have a good game.
No.
3
Robert
for 29.
Gronkowski. Not a good game. Go ahead.
3 for 29. 5.9 fantasy points. I have him on my team. I'm a bit worried. I might scavenge the waiver wise to see if I can start anyone else because Gronk hasn't really been doing it for me the past couple of weeks. I don't have another backup, so and I'm in the championship, and I don't know if I want to ride or die with Gronk right now.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's definitely something that you will have to consider. But Aki, let's quickly talk about Patreon because this is something that you can gear up for next year, and this is a way to support us. But what does it mean?
Yeah, look, patreon.com/FantasyLandFam. like Zach said, just a way to support us and support the show. If you like what we're doing, if you like what we did this year, if you made the playoffs because of us, because of our advice, because of us answering all your questions, DMing us, coming to the live, whatever the case may be, this is a way to support. Go to Patreon. We have 3 different tiers. We're gearing up for next year, year 2. We're talking about year 2. We talked about year 3 already. We're actually really excited to start growing Fantasyland even bigger. So go to patreon.com/FantasyLandFam and support the show. We really appreciate everyone that told us that we've helped you, and everyone else saying that, you guys been doing a great job. Like, we're doing this for you guys, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's quickly talk about Monday Night Football. We broke it down, but let's quickly talk about it.
Are you ready for some football?
Are you ready for some football?
Are you ready for some football?
All right, the 11-2 Steelers at the 2-10-1 Bengals. And when I say we broke it down, I mean we actually already talked about this matchup in detail on our previous podcast. If you want to hear a detailed analysis of this matchup. But there's not many predictions to talk about, to be honest. I mean, I really feel like the Steelers are just going to win this game pretty easily. Is there any wild predictions you have out there that you just want to say, I think this is going to happen?
No, I really don't have any wild predictions. I think the Steelers bounce back here. They're going to utilize the Steelers. This is the time for the Steelers to get Deontay Johnson to catch the ball. Okay, he needs to catch the ball. They also need to experiment with this running game. If they're going to make the playoffs and James Conner's not healthy, what are they going to do? They were really even.
Is Snell the guy?
Yeah, exactly. They were really even in the beginning half of their season. That's why they were so successful, going undefeated for so long. They need that guy. So I wonder if Snell, like you said, if Snell's a guy, or if maybe they pick up somebody. Maybe they waive somebody and then pick up somebody off the waiver wires. Because they need somebody. I don't know if James Conner's going to be healthy for the playoffs if they're trying to make this playoff run.
Yeah, and what's weird is, like, I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like the Steelers are not exactly a scary team if you're looking at the playoffs. Like, I'm not sure that I don't know how exactly to say this because I think they're a good team. I just don't think that if I saw them on my playoff schedule, I would be super worried. Like, I wouldn't be like, it's not like facing the Chiefs or the Titans or the Packers or the Saints or Seahawks. I would just think there would be a lot of people. Like, let me ask you this. Would you rather see the Titans or the Steelers in the playoffs?
Titans, for sure.
You would rather face the Titans?
Oh, would I rather? Oh, no, I'd rather. I thought, like, me just watching football.
Right.
No, I would rather face the Steelers. The Titans, they're one-dimensional. Easy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just feel like they're maybe not going to produce in the playoffs like a lot of people expect them to. But as far as this game, I see the Steelers winning pretty easily. I think the Steelers win by 10 points at least. How do you see this game going?
Yeah, I see it the same way. Steelers over 10. I think the Bengals will score. I think they're going to disrupt Big Ben in a way for a little bit, but I don't think anything else is going to happen. Like nothing significant is going to happen. Once again, I think this is going to be a playoff trial for this team.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully whatever you need to happen in this game to win, to go to the next round happens for you. Do not miss our next episode, Week 16 matchups. We're going to break it down. We're going to tell you who to start, who to sit, help you make some hard decisions on our next episode. Don't miss it. Badaki, anything you want to say quickly to end the show?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. If you were with us on our last podcast, I just noticed that every time I asked Badaki, anything you want to say to finish the show, Badaki would say, no. And then he starts saying a bunch of things he wants to say to finish the show. So that's why that's funny. He said, yes, I do. Okay.
No, honestly, once again, just playoffs. I mean, patreon.com/FantasyLandFam. Subscribe on there. We also have a gaming channel. We haven't been on there for a couple weeks. Obviously, we're with family. But in the new year, when everything kind of settles down, best believe you're going to see us there.
Yeah.
But we're really excited. We're once again really excited to gear up for year 2. Comment down below what you'd like to see,
Yeah.
what you think we can do better.
Yeah.
Because that really helps us. Because if that just helps us. Helps us.
Yikes. That was hard to get through.
Today, Junior?
No, all jokes aside, no, it's seriously all love from us. Appreciate genuinely everyone who's listened throughout. It actually blows my mind that we still see hundreds of people listen to every podcast right now, week 16. That actually genuinely blows my mind that we're still seeing that many people listen to our podcast, and that means hopefully we're doing something right.
Right.
Big shout out to you guys, Fantasyland fam. All love. Whatever you need to happen tonight to get to the next round, I hope it happens for you. Regardless, we'll see you on the next episode. See you there.
See you there.
Hey, yeah, you, the one listening to this podcast, you made a good decision today. Keep making those good decisions. You know what? Go ahead and do a little dance right now, like no one's watching. 'Cause you deserve it.